Hey everybody, this is Alex Maurer, your assistant Cub Master for Pack 34. This is part 2 of advancement. This video is going to focus on den leaders and advancement chairs. Parents, you can also watch this as you can see how the process works, your role in it, and how it feeds up to the other levels. So I'm going to start by going into Scoutbook. So as usual, you can get to Scoutbook from our website. Go to the main page, then click on the Scoutbook link, which will take you into the Scoutbook page, and then you can log in. If you have any questions, there are videos below. This is where I'm putting all the tutorial videos, so you can find it all down there. Okay, so I'm going to log in as a den leader. I don't actually think this is a den leader. Maybe it's the other one. I removed them all, but well, whatever. This will work. This is a pack admin user, so it'll have a little more access than den leaders. I can see all the dens, but it'll work for our purposes. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to my dashboard, and I am going to go into Pack 34, and I'm going to be working in the wolf den because my son is in there, and I'm going to look at his advancement. Okay, so as a den leader, it will start off, you can start off by scrolling all the way to the bottom, and you can look at various den reports, right? So if you are just off the bat as a den leader, when you come in here, you can see that there are 2 reports that are waiting for you to do something. So if you click in here, you can see that there's an approval report. That approval report is for you to sign off on what the parents have just entered. So if I click in here and I take a look, I'm going to see that Shay has 2 adventure requirements that are ready to go, right? So if I dig in here, I can see this a little bit further and I can see what's going on. All right, so let me explain this. In the other video, I showed parents how to sign off on individual requirements, and then I also showed them how to sign off on the whole requirement. Ideally, what we want the parents to do is to sign off on each individual adventure requirement. So that's all of these things over here. The breakdown of what goes into the wolf required adventures. If for some reason, they marked everything up in the book and they come into Scoutbook and they, maybe are pressed for time, they can actually just approve the Call of the Wild. I think we'll take it either way. It's nice to have the adventure requirements because it shows you the full breadth of the work that the boy has done towards earning the rank, right? So I think that's really nice to have later on down the road when you're looking back on your scouting career and you say, oh, look at all these things I did when I was 7 or when I was 8. So I'm really encouraging parents to do the individual record, but I also understand that sometimes you're pressed for time. But that's why you see these 2 here. So actually, I'm going to approve this one, and I'm also going to approve the whole thing because I marked the whole thing off as done. Now, I can select individual ones, and then I can approve those. I could click this and select them all, and then mark it as approved. Or I can just choose the one I want. If I back out of here and I go to the root of this, you see that I can just quickly approve them all. So It's very easy for me to dig into Shay right now because there's only one kid in here. But let's say you have 17 kids in here and there's a lot of different requirements. So, it's kind of up to the leaders to decide how they're going to handle that. If you want to approve them all, hey, they've submitted it. That's good for you. You're not going to question, like you're not going to be a drill sergeant looking into every little thing. That's great. You could approve it all right from here. For me and Shay, I am only going to approve this one because he is actually done with this one. I am not going to approve Call the Wild, and I'm going to remove that later. So I'll do this one. And that will go green. I'm sorry, that will go blue once I'm done because the blue indicates that it's a leadership role has approved this. So if I come back out, excuse me, to Shay's record as a den leader, I can see what he's done. So now you see I have parts in here. But I'm going to remove that one because that's not right. I'll keep the one part of the advancement in, but I'm going to remove this one part. So you do have the ability to change some of this and update it. And I'll save that. Okay, so now this is only going to reflect that he's done one part of the requirement. And you notice that it's blue, which means that he's done with requirement 1, and it's approved by the den leader. Okay. If down the road you are going to, the advancement chair is going to look at this and say, okay, what do I have to award? Well, he doesn't have to award anything right now because this isn't complete. So let's go take a look at that. I should say you should see this advancement start to change as you add things in. So it was at 22% when I had the whole thing completed, and now it's back to 13 because I only have one part. Okay. Let me show you just real quickly before I jump into the advancement chair role. If I go down to the reports, so all of this is done, and you see you don't have any visual indicators out on the main page. So den leaders, your job is done. You have approved work that has been completed, and now it's at the advancement chair to deal with. But this is really nice. If you click on Wolf Den Advancement Report, you're going to see a really nice clean report that this thing kicks out that will show all the rank information, requirement stuff that has been done. So if you look, where am I? This is Shay. So he has got his electives that he earned at summer camp. So these are done. He has started working on his Call of the Wild, but he's not complete. So there's nothing there. But had I approved that completed rank, it would have shown here. So this is really nice when you're helping parents along and letting them see what's going on here. This is really nice to be able to say, here's at a glance where you're at with your son, and will help them to motivate into doing these requirements. So that's a really nice report. All right, let me jump into, actually, let me do this real quick. I'm going to go back into Shay here, and I'm actually going to give him the whole requirement again. So I'll go to advancement. I will go to Wolf, and I will go to Call the Wild, and I am going to just approve the whole thing. And I'm going to say that he did it on September 6th. And now because I'm a den leader, Actually, because I'm a pack admin, I have all of these options. But if I was a den leader role only, so I was just the den admin, I would only have approved recorded. Awarded is, a pack admin level. But so because I'm pretending to be a den leader right now, I am going to click that off, and I'm going to hit save. And so now I've approved his whole rank. I mean, that he's gotten this first requirement, and it's done. So now if I come out and I look at Shay's record, I will see that in his advancement, he is 22%. So there's that. So that's changed. So he's got his elective done, and he's got one of his requirements done. And again, if I come out to the den and I go and I look at that report, when I see him on here, he will have Call of the Wild marked off with the date that he completed it. So again, you can create this really nice, clean, out-of-the-box report that is very clear. All that stuff where we were writing by hand on big posters, this is how you can do it now. Okay, so now I'm going to flip over into my advancement chair role. Whoops. And I'm going to come back out to pack 34. Pack 34. No. That's not what I wanted. Dashboard. Okay, so now just out of the box, or out at the top of this thing, you can see in my reports I've got a visual indicator that I've got 11 things that I need to approve. So as a advancement chair, I'm going to see this report down here. And if I click in here, I should see, this is Daniel. It's not what I wanted. Where am I here? Let's see here. Let's do needs approval, needs purchasing. I should be seeing. Yeah. So now that it's been approved, Shay goes on to the need purchasing report. So right here, George is on here for the bear rank because this got entered in by Eric while we were testing this, and so he hasn't. It didn't get approved, even though he has it. We just have to approve it and then mark it down May 10th that he did it. But now you see Shay is on here, so I can create a purchase order as a advancement chair. Oh, I need to, let's select him, and I'll do a create a purchase order. And I'll take a look at it here. So there it is right there. Call of the Wild, belt loop. And then I can print this and I can send this off to the trading post, and they can potentially, if they're not busy, put together a package of loops that we can then send to our den leaders that they can award during their pack meetings. Their den meetings. And you notice that I have some options down here to create an advancement report and to send this information to ScoutNet. So this gives us a lot of tools to use for doing all this paperwork. Um, you know, here's, I mean, this is awesome. We can do pocket cards for rank advancement. Um, we can include the date earned. We can include e-signatures. I mean, it sort of changes the game on everything. But like I said, I could print this and send this off, providing these prices are right, which this is coming from the Boy Scouts of America. And my assumption is that the Trading Post is not marking up that these are the prices that they charge. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in Scoutbook. Scoutbook is becoming the system that BSA is going to use. So my assumption is that these prices are set for all the Trading Posts. With that said, I have not checked into if that's true or not with the Trading Post. But in any event, that is how that works. So I'm going to kill this purchase order, and I'll say yes, and then wait for that to go. I did want to point out that in doing all of this and creating the purchase order and all that stuff, I can also award it right here. So if I have it and I'm going to give it to the den leader, and they're going to hand it out to their scout at the next den meeting, my assumption as the advancement chair, if I give it to the den leader is giving it to the scout. And so I'm going to mark this as awarded, and it's done. It can go up to BSA's national databases, and that record of their advancement can follow them around. So that's how the advancement chair works. So you see, every little part helps in moving this information around the system. Starts with the parents, goes through the den leaders, and it goes to the advancement chair. And hopefully, the way I hope it's going to work is that we're going to be able to send these purchase orders over to the Trading Post in San Rafael and say, hey, here's our shopping list. These are the things we need. Can you compile the bunch of belt loops, and someone will come and pick it up before the next meeting. And what I'd ideally like to do is I would like to have that piece in place so that at each monthly PAC meeting in the first week of the month, the advancement chair will have that the awards to be given to the den leaders, so that in the next week after the PAC meeting, when the den meetings are happening, they're guaranteed to always do advancement during each den meeting. So hopefully this process is going to be really smooth, and we're going to get it in, but it's going to require that you as den leaders put some deadlines on your parents to get advancement in and cut them off, and then advancement chairs are going to have to put some deadlines on the den leaders to ensure that the data is in. At this date, I'm approving, I'm going to buy the stuff, I'm going to get it, I'm going to give it to you. Anything after that date, next time. So that's it. Any questions, please email me. I'm happy to walk through it with you. If you're a den leader that hasn't signed into Scoutbook yet, please do so. It's very important that you are a part of this. You're going to create a lot of paperwork for yourself if you don't sign in. The goal of this tool is to make it very easy, but it requires that you use it. Okay, thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.